Can you believe it? Finally, we are starting the Christmas tree farm officially. Welcome guys, welcome to Dragonfly Projects. My name's Alex, and this is the beginning of my Christmas tree farm. This is a lifelong dream of mine. As far back as when I was very little, I've always wanted to have a Christmas tree farm. I absolutely love Christmas. It brings people together. It brings me so much joy, and I'm so excited to get this started. Throughout this video, we'll have some drone footage. Today, we'll talk about planning and layout of the future Christmas tree farm. I'll try to refer to, up, right, left, and down, which matches the drone footage for the orientation. So as you can see from the above footage, there's already trees here. I would say that 90% of the trees here are either spruce or firs, which is perfect because those are good trees to use as Christmas trees. There's a couple random oak trees that are populated throughout the plantation. I gotta stop calling it plantation. Christmas tree farm. There's a couple random oaks and a couple random pines spread throughout the Christmas tree farm. What I'll probably do is I'll wait till early next spring and I'll try to move them. I'll try to dig them out and put them somewhere else because they're nice little trees. And I think the roots are not that big yet that I can't move them. I'd hate just to cut them. But pine, oak is gonna go. As you can see, some of the trees are not doing so hot right now. And as you'll notice from above, there's a lot of holes, a lot of spots we can fill with saplings. So all of this knowledge is coming from two books that I've read. They mostly say the same thing. It's the same idea, nothing really new. I'm not reinventing the wheel here with the Christmas tree farm. I've never done this before. I've never done anything like this before. So we are learning. Claudia is 100% on board with this process. She's being so supportive, and I am so thankful that she is there for me. So basically the layout we want to do is you can either plant the whole plantation, the whole tree farm in one go. The problem is trees usually take, depending on the species, 4 to 10 years before you can sell them. So that means we plant once and then we harvest once and then we'd repeat every, let's say, 5 years. That means in the next 20 years, I would only do 4 harvests. So that means I can only be open 4 times for people to come in. That's not really what I want to do. What I want to do is I'm going to try and separate this area into plots. Ideally 6 plots, 6 somewhat equal plots. If you look on the right of the screen on the aerial shot, you'll notice that there's a different look to part of the forest that's closest to the clearing where the tree farm already is. That's because this used to be a field that was farmed, and whenever a field is abandoned in this region, silver birch or gray birch just explodes and takes over. So all of that, you'll see there's already a little circle in that forest that's been cleared already or started to be cleared. So basically what we want to do is regain that almost 3/4 of an acre that's missing from this field right now, so we have more room to expand. We're finalizing our tree order for next spring. We're gonna go with 400 trees. We're gonna go with 2 different types of spruce, so Colorado blue spruce and a white spruce, and we're gonna go with 2 different types of firs, Fraser fir and balsam fir. There are some pines available. I personally am not a fan of pine trees as Christmas trees, and I don't recall seeing them anywhere around Christmas times as a live tree. So the upside of the pine tree, it grows faster. The downside is I don't think it looks as good Christmas tree wise. Maybe if it's pruned properly, maybe if it's sheared properly, it'll grow to be a little thicker, a little bushier, a little fuller, it'll be nicer. But I think your typical Christmas tree, your spruces and your firs are much nicer and that's the trees we're going for. So we're going to order 100 of each. It ranges from 85 cents to $1.35 per tree. They're supposed to arrive as 12 to 15 inch seedlings that you plant in the ground. So we're going to go with 100 of each. So 200 spruces and then 200 firs. We are going to try to rotate the plots so that the area that's already been taken and already planted is not touched until year 4 if we can. So these trees we'll have time to shear them, we'll have time to shape them, they'll have more time to grow, and eventually hopefully we'll be able to sell these and use these as Christmas trees while our first starter trees start to grow. So we're going to try to separate this into 6 plots, equal plots. If we reclaim that section, we're going to be around 3 acres for the whole tree farm. There is an option to expand to go a bit bigger. There is some room at the bottom of the screen. There's like a path of red pines. There is some room behind there, but that might end up being some land for animals. We're not sure yet. We're still trying to figure it out. Plus, it looks like there's a lot of trees if you're looking from the ground level, but if you look from the air, there's a lot of empty holes that we can use to plant new seedlings. So this year, we're going to order 400 trees. We're going to plant all 400 of them. I think the cost total will be around $600 Canadian. Now, if you can imagine that we can sell them for, I'm not even sure yet, but let's just say $50 a tree, then it's $20,000 just in that plot in gross profit. Obviously, there will be some expenses sometimes, some equipment that needs to be purchased. So it's not going to be net profit, but we're very excited. I'm not doing it for the money. It's just money is an added bonus to help me keep going and grow the process. One more thing that drives me nuts about this Christmas tree farm right now is you can see from the air the north-south up and down rows line up, but the east-west, left-right rows, they don't line up everywhere. Drives me bonkers when I'm trying to mow. There's no set line. There's like 3 distinct different sections. It just drives me bananas. The other thing we have to figure out is what spacing we want. So I need to split this area into 6 equal-ish sections, and we have to figure out the spacing. Right now, the spacing is about 6 feet by 6 feet. The lawn tractor, which when I'm mowing, I'm using it more as a brush cutter, so I'm abusing the Poor Cup Cadet a bit. Eventually, I hope to be able to upgrade it to something a bit bigger and a bit more powerful. But it's just under 4 feet, the deck width. The tractor with the brush cutter is just over 5 feet wide. So I want to make sure that I can still bring the tractor in here to clear the stumps once we're done with a couple of trees. So the spacing, I think at a minimum has to be 5.5 feet. And now we're going to play around on a piece of paper, do some calculations, and see if 5.5 by 5.5 is a good spacing, or if we're going to have to go to 6 feet by 6 feet to make sure that our equipment can go through. And eventually also if you want to bring in a trailer or something to be able to carry the trees out in case you want to sell a couple in bulk. My goal for this Christmas tree farm is a cut down your own tree. So family gets together, comes to the tree farm, walks together, picks a tree, cuts it down, brings it back home, decorates it. That for me is magical. That's what I'm striving for. Last year, friends and family came over. They walked around. They picked their own tree. They got to bring it home, and it just solidified and just confirmed for me that is 100% what I love to do. I also have some plans to cut down some myself, wrap them up, and then sell them to friends and families a bit further. I don't think I want to wholesale. I don't think I'm big enough to wholesale anyways. I want to keep it smaller and more family oriented. But the main goal is to have fun, to be with family, and just to enjoy the whole process. Let's go walk around and look at a couple of the trees that are already on the property. As I was saying, there's already some some pines on the property, which I don't think I'll want to turn into Christmas trees. We have a great specimen here of a white pine and a red pine here. Red pines are very favored in this area as plantation trees because they like our type of soil, this sandy, loamy. I'm sorry if I'm not using the terms correctly, I'm still learning. But this sandy soil is very favorable to the growth of red pines. So they grow well, they grow fast, and they make for decent lumber because they grow straight. So this is one of the favorite tree in the area to grow as a plantation tree. The other plantation we have, well, I guess now I should say the only plantation we have, because this is a Christmas tree farm now, is all red pine. White pines, they make for some awesome trees. They grow to behemoth size and they grow all funky. The downside is they grow all funky. They don't like to grow straight. They get attacked by bugs quite easily and then they just fork out every which way. So I don't think it'd make for a great Christmas tree. It looks good, it's nice and soft and fluffy, but I don't think that's what I want to go for Christmas tree wise. I can't really tell the difference yet between the types of spruce and the types of firs, but I can tell you what's a spruce and what's a fir. So this lovely specimen here is a spruce. I think it's a white spruce. You can tell because the needles are not the needles itself, but the branch has needles all the way around and looks more like a cylinder or a circle than the firs. And their little needles are on the stiffer side. But they make for some really nice trees. And here behind me, again, another spruce, same type, but this is, I believe, a Colorado blue spruce. And I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it does has a bluish tint to it, which explains why it is called Colorado blue spruce. Let's find some firs. So even from a distance here, I can tell that this is a fir. I'm not sure if it's a Fraser or a balsam. Apparently by the smell, you can tell the difference. So this is a fir. It's more flat. The shape of the needles is more flat. It's more oval shape than the spruce. It does tend to grow more like your typical Christmas tree though. So the shape of it naturally, if you can see it, is already fairly well defined as that Christmas tree shape we're looking for. And there's a couple more firs behind it, and they all have that distinctive cone. They like to grow tall and slim, while the spruces are a bit more full, so you'll have to shape them a bit more. I just spent the last 5 hours cleaning up, making it all nice and pretty. I think this will be the last time before winter that I mow everything down to keep the weeds down. So we're gonna have a nice farm for when friends and families are gonna come pick their trees this year. The last thing I forgot to mention is we will be growing and offering 2 different sizes of trees, what they call table size, like this example here. So a tree that is usually under 4 feet tall. This is give or take 4 feet. And just a regular family tree size. So anything, I'll probably aim under 8 feet. You can sell bigger ones for more money, but I feel like less people want them, especially in a family setting. Maybe it's more popular on the commercial side, but for the family setting, I feel that this would make a great apartment tree, and this makes for a great living room tree in a house. 8 to 6 feet for the regular tree, and then 3 to 4 feet, depending on the tree, for the table size version. And I'm sorry guys, this tree is already taken. This will be our tree this year. This will be our Christmas tree this year. It's a beautiful fir. And it is for sure on the tall side now. But once I've pruned the last 2 feet, if you're calculating from the lowest branch to the top of the last whorl, it's going to be around 8 feet. I'll probably have to trim it a bit because our ceilings are only 8 feet. So I want to make sure I don't do the same mistake as last time where I had to cut my tree basically, and I could not fit my angel on top of my tree, which was unfortunate. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I am so happy to finally bring this to you guys. I'm so happy you guys are joining me for this process. Claudia and I are going to start this farm. We'll probably have plenty of help from friends and families, especially when we're planting next season, because 400 trees to plant in a short period of time is probably more than I can handle myself, at least while remaining sane. I'm sure I'll do a ton of mistakes on the way. We're starting small-ish so that if we do mistakes, it's not too costly, and then we can find ways to recuperate or fix, or just completely switch our process if ever it's not working for us, to be better tree farmers. I am actually a farmer now. I am a Christmas tree farmer. That's amazing. If you guys want to hit the like and subscribe, it helps us so much, and it does encourage us to keep making this content for you guys. Questions, comments, suggestions, by all means, write them down below. I go through all the comments as much as I can, and I try to answer as much as I can also. I guess there's still a bit of mosquitoes. Although right now it's more ladybug season. They're everywhere. And there's also that Japanese beetle that's like very similar to the ladybug, except that one actually bites. Not painful, just very annoying. I'll have a video out soon, shearing and pruning on how to do the Christmas tree. I'll do a lot of testing, see what works best for me. It is too late now to do a proper shearing for all of the trees, but I'll do some testing on trees that are probably not marketable or sellable just because they have defects, or they're not, or they're affected by diseases. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.